Boruto 2 Blue Vortex Chapter 14 titled Duty starts off with it's essentially Boruto's interrogation chapter. So it essentially starts off with Boruto waking up in a daze after Jura just shot him right there, right through the chest. It hits him right there. And then he kind of wakes up and who happens to be there? It's Konohamaru. It's Konohamaru. I mean, talk about bad. And also Obiki's there, and they're kind of sitting him down. They got him cuffed up like he did last chapter. And then now he's just coming to, and Konohamaru is like, calm down, relax. Your wound's been healed, possibly, more than likely because of Himawari. But still, it's just like, you know what I mean? There's nothing there. They wouldn't have healed him either way, you know what I mean? But they need him alive to interrogate him. They need to figure out how he knows all this information. So, you know, we're about to get into that. Following up, Konohamaru essentially explains the cuffs that have been tied around Boruto have been created by Amado. They're electronic, and they essentially stop him from making any hand signs so that he can't access chakra, or he can't, essentially break out of them. You know what I mean? It's just, he's restrained, he can't use any jutsu, and he's stuck there, so he has to talk to them. And the first thing that Boruto is like, how's everybody else doing? You know what I mean? He only cares about other people. And then he's also like, where are the enemies? What happened to the Shinju? Where'd they go? And Konohamaru is like, yeah, they kind of left. They killed some of our people, but we want to know what you know. We want to know every single little detail. So then we cut to Inojin in the hospital getting killed by Sakura, which was the leak panel that we got, or the leaked page, my bad, the leaked page that we got, which was not an accurate setup for this whole chapter, but essentially it just lets us know that Inojin is getting healed in the hospital by Sakura. Chocho and Shikadai are both there. Himawari is there. Inojin's mom, Ino, is also there. So everybody is basically concerned there for him, and they're like, okay, he's gonna be okay. He's gonna pull through. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is. I don't look at Sakura healing Inojin any deeper than that. Obviously, it could be something to do with the Shinju's wood release, or Himawari's healing factor as being a Jinchuriki to Kurama. But I honestly don't think it's just like anything too crazy. It's just necessarily Inojin got hurt. Sakura, Himawari healed the physical damage, the wound itself, but the chakra itself, Sakura needs to work on, needs to focus on, and she's basically just helping him through that. You know what I mean? So, either way, Sakura's healing Inojin. Everything's gonna be fine. I think by next chapter, Inojin's gonna be up and ready to go, and we're gonna figure out a lot more. Now the interrogation begins, and it starts off with, all right, Boruto, let's get this started. Let's get this off on record right here, right now. Who were those bad guys, and what do you know? Like, they're basically just asking the preliminary questions, and they're also the interrogation by Konohamaru and Ibiki. The sensory unit is using mind transmission jutsu to other key players in the village, or other people who need to be in the know. So that includes the village elders, which are, Koharu and Hamura. I just remember their names. And they were worthless back in Shippuden. They were worthless. They've never done anything. Apparently, if you're just a ninja in the village and you get old, you get a lot of power in the village, and people care about you. They should have been dead in the 4th grade ninja war. They should be dead now. They should have been, you know what? They should have been killed before, the 3rd Hokage, realistically. But no, they're still kicking. They're still around, and I can't believe this. This is, all right. Anyways, they're here too, and Amado's also mind transmissioned into the interrogation, so he can add some input when it comes to Kara, or when it comes to code. He could have some key information about what's going on. And yeah, essentially, it's just Konohamaru asking the basic questions. Who are they? What are their targets? Why do they want Himawari? Why do they want Sarada? And then we also get a look at Shikamaru behind the glass. He's there, but he's not the one interrogating. He's letting Konohamaru lead it. And the main reason I think why Shikamaru isn't like physically in there is because he doesn't. I think it's mainly because he needs to keep a distance. He can't, you know what I mean? He can't be involved in everything. He needs to It's only a very rare cases that the Hokage shows up or steps in, you know what I mean? But Naruto, he's a big softie, you know what I mean? Shikamaru's a lot more distant. But anyways, we see that Shikamaru is physically there behind the glass looking at Boruto, and he's kind of getting the idea that it's going down. And then also not mind transmissioned in, but because of her Senrigan, Ada is also in the also able to see the interrogation, as well as informing Damon and Kawaki about, all right, this is happening, this is about to go down. He's gonna get interrogated. And then Damon starts cooking Kawaki. He starts going like, listen, man, he's going to start spilling the beans and he's going to tell everybody. He's like, what are you going to do now, huh? What are you going to do now, Kawaki? I mean, you're essentially ruined here in the village if he speaks a word about what you did. You know what I mean? How you hid the seventh Hokage, about how you're not actually his son, how you're this castaway, how you used omnipotence to kind of force everybody to believe that you're his son, but you're not actually his son, how you're trying to kill Boruto, who is actually Naruto's son, and how you essentially took away 3 years of Hinata and Naruto's life just so that way you could, like, protect them when, you know what I mean, it seems like a big waste of time. What are you going to do now, huh? What are you going to do about that? And Kawaki's just like, yeah, man. Yeah. It's rough. It's rough. So now Ada's trying to step in, and she's just like, stop making, you know what I mean, stop provoking him, Damon. And Damon's like, what's he gonna do to me? He can't do anything to me. My reflect ability is too powerful. So in that sense, he can't really do anything. And then Kawaki is just basically like, listen, the reason why this is all happening is because of Boruto. You know what I mean? It's his fault. He knows he has to die, and that's the only reason why I'm keeping them. So even if he explains the whole situation to them, even if he outs me, it doesn't change what I have to do. It doesn't change anything that's happened. It's his fault. He's a dangerous Otsutsuki, and until I kill him, until he's dealt with, until Momoshiki is essentially out of the picture, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to be, there's nothing else to do except to kill him, and then everything will be right as rain in the world, you know? And the only thing keeping him from killing Boruto in this very moment is because he needs to know all of the information that he knows. And Kawaki, the gears are turning. He already knows, he has suspicions. Well, it's kind of safe to say that he knows, basically, that Kashin Koji is or may be involved, but he needs to know. He needs everybody to understand the intel. They need to figure out what it is that Boruto exactly knows. We also see Mitsuki looking off into the great distance, and he's just kind of pondering everything that he's kind of been through. And so, essentially, Boruto tells them about the Divine Tree. He tells them about the Shinju, who they are, what they want, and who their main targets are. And so, he's the one telling Konohamaru, he's essentially like, you're a target for the one that Moegi's Shinju turned into, Matsuri. You're her target, so you better become strong out of nowhere. I mean, you're not going to be able to really take her on, but you know what I mean? They're kind of suggesting that you can, so, you know, if you died, I wouldn't be mad. You know what I mean? But, you know, that's not what he says, that's what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. You get me. So anyways, Konohamaru is just like, huh? What? What are you talking about, Boruto? I as a Jonin ninja going through one of the harshest times in the world, I can't comprehend all of this information. Matsuri, what's going on here? I mean, come on, Konohamaru. Get it together. It's at this point Amado decides to chime in and says the Ten Tails' real purpose, or the Shinju themselves, is just to eat things, but also to acquire knowledge. What they really want is to figure out all of life's little curiosity. They just want knowledge. They want information. They want to figure themselves out. Unlike all of the other nine-tailed beasts, the Ten Tails never really had the chance to figure themselves out. Figure out who Ten Tails is in here. It has only been a monster to devour things. And now that they're curious, now that they have, like, humanoid form, now that they can actually, you know, become something, they're trying to gain knowledge. And he kind of tells that to Konohamaru, and he's like, knowledge? What? Oh my goodness, I don't get it. I don't know what's going on. And Amado's just basically like, that's essentially all they're after. They just want information. They want to know more about the world. They want to know more about themselves. And by devouring people that they're, quote unquote, they're using the chakra of, they might be able to figure more about themselves. You know what I mean? They might be able to figure out more about themselves. So he tells that to Konohamaru via mind transmission jutsu, and Hibiki, and everybody in that kind of mind transmission link. They're all able to hear his thoughts or what he thinks about the situation. So now Konohamaru is interested. He says, so they just want information, and they think that they might do that by eating me and Sarada, right? And Boruto's like, essentially, yeah. And the leader is named Jura, but he's not like the others. He doesn't take Moegi's chakra or Sasuke's chakra or Bug's chakra or any of those things. He's not based on any of those. He is the Ten Tails incarnate himself. And I knew it, dude. Since the Ten Tails disappeared when the Shinju first started happening, I was like, there was no way that they just like took the Ten Tails away or teleported it somewhere else. It transformed into Jura, and while its physical body may be a reflection of the one guy who protected Sarada from like chapter 2 or 3 or however long ago it was. You remember that guy with like the weird haircut, the shinobi who saved Sarada and got absorbed? That's essentially what the physical or like his humanoid body is based on, I think. But the actual person inside isn't a reflection of that man's character or his personality. Instead, it's more so that's just the Ten Tails incarnate. That essentially the Ten Tails brain goes into that guy's body, and boom, that's the Shinju. And he's the leader. So Boruto kind of explains that if we stop him, essentially all of the bad things that might happen in the foreseeable future can be stopped. We can essentially end everything right here, right now, if we kill him. And everybody gets interested. Now, rather than taking this information that Boruto just gives them, it goes completely past their head, or it takes them like 2 seconds to process it, and there's no kind of follow-up question. There's no deeper conversation. Instead, it's just, yeah, how do you know all this, Boruto, huh? Tell us your source. And it's essentially like a big waste of time, because it's like, one, he could just claim that he just knows, right? But they just want to be like, you know, how do you know all this, Boruto? Tell us your source. How do you figure all of this out? And it obviously raises eyebrows. It obviously gets everybody kind of curious. But Konohamaru is essentially like, tell us, Boruto. And if you tell us, then it'll essentially sway my opinion of you. It'll allow me to believe in you, essentially. And it's just like, that is so stupid, Konohamaru. It's like, you already know what you think about Boruto. If he discloses his source, it's not going to essentially be like, oh, wow, I totally believe you now. No, you're still going to hate him. You're still not going to want to be a part of his life. It's just like, whether or not he tells you his source, he's giving you the information. He has no reason to lie. It just doesn't work. But Boruto ain't no snitch, okay? Boruto does not give up Kashin Koji. He doesn't give up anything. He doesn't give up anyone in this chapter. That's the boy. That's the homie right there, right? Doing exactly what Naruto would do. It's exactly what his father would have done. Doesn't give up anybody. So he's just essentially like, I know I have a source, but I can't reveal his identity. You know what I mean? Everybody's like, what? You can't tell us who he is or what's going on here or how you know all this information? You're a traitor. You're evil, Boruto, and you always will be. And so we get a nice panel of Amado kind of like, he's kind of like, oh snap. So I think in this moment, just that sentence alone gets Amado's brain, the gears are turning. He's obviously like, it might be Kashin Koji. Obviously, he also might just be like, I wonder who it could be. But I think a little piece of him is kind of just like, it could be somebody else that I discarded. Or that I kind of got rid of. But whatever. And so Boruto is just like, for his own safety, I can't tell you anything. And if I do reveal it to you guys, then he might be in danger. You know what I mean? The way that prescience or 10 paths or 10 directions work is that if Boruto were to offer up that information, that action alone might change events and it might not look favorably. So keeping his mouth shut is probably the best scenario. And Konohamaru is just like, not acceptable, Boruto. You need to tell us right now. You're a traitor. You think we would ever believe you? We will not just blindly follow you, you idiot. And Boruto's like, yeah, well, right back at you guys. You guys got no evidence on me. You don't have a single shred of evidence that I killed the 7th Hokage. You have no single shred of evidence that I'm like a traitor to the village. You don't have any of that stuff. And yet you guys are still trying to kill me. And the only reason I'm still alive here is because I have information. I know about the Shinju. I know about their targets. I know about what they're doing, and I know everything. And that's when Homura decides to chime in. And when Homura decides to chime in, well, when Homura decides to chime in, everything goes downhill. When the old people start talking, that's when it starts to spiral down. And so Homura's just basically like, hey, listen, you rogue ninja, you traitor, don't get cocky with us, all right? We will kill you, and we will do whatever it takes to ensure the safety of this village, all right? You are a traitor, and there's nothing about what you say right here, right now is going to change that. And Boruto's just kind of like, boy. So Homura's just kind of like, there's no chance you're leaving that interrogation room alive. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, you're dying today. And it's happening. He's essentially going like, we've already dug your grave. So you might as well just tell us the whole truth so that way we can get as much information as possible. And Shikamaru's looking at this and he's just kind of like, oh snap. Where it's looking bad for Boruto. I don't know what to do here. And then Koharu, she decides to talk, and she's just basically just like, listen, you're gonna die, but before that, tell us, why did you kill the 7th Hokage? Why did you kill Naruto Uzumaki? And everybody's like, their ears kind of perk up. And now we get some of Shikamaru's flashback, his mind flashback. And in there, he's kind of talking to Boruto and being like, if you don't intend to kill Kawaki, then I can't fully support you. I can't stop Kawaki physically myself, and I can't antagonize him out of fear of what he might do to the village. So you got to stay the bad guy. And Boruto's essentially like, yeah, I know. I never really cared. And then Shikamaru is kind of reliving that moment, and he forgets the word omnipotence. And if we remember, omnipotence is not supposed to stay in their brain. So while he may have physically forgotten the word or what omnipotence is, he hasn't forgotten the feelings, he hasn't forgotten his actions, he hasn't forgotten the conversation he's had with Boruto. So all of that mixed together, also in tune with Amado's conversation and talking about how Boruto is kind of, what's it called? Boruto is not Kawaki, or he does not have the karma that Amado gave him. He's essentially, he has Momoshiki inside him. He's supposed to be what Kawaki is. All of that mixed together makes Shikamaru kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to remember. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't know what I'm forgetting. But all I know is I have to protect Boruto. If I closely connect the dots and I flip the script, if I essentially switch Kawaki and Boruto's places, everything starts to make sense. I feel it in my bones that that's the truth. And he's essentially go like, I have no reason outside of my feelings to believe this, but if I do believe it, then that's, then that's, everything makes sense, everything works. So I have to save Boruto. I have to help him out of the situation the only way I know I can. And he's essentially kind of pondering in his mind, thinking with his big brain. He's kind of just going like, how do I help Boruto in this moment? And then Boruto goes, I didn't kill Naruto Uzumaki. He's somewhere safe, somewhere with his wife too. And that's as much as I can, as much as I'm able to say. And the village elders are like, what? He's alive? He's alive and he's somewhere safe? We don't believe this. We can't believe this. What's going on? Konohamaru is just kind of like, what? Ibiki's like, what? Amado, Ada, Koharu, Hamura. Everybody is just like, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? And then Koharu is like, and where is that? Where is that, Boruto? Where are you keeping him? And Boruto's like, yeah, I'm no snitch. I'm not telling you where he is or who has him or why. I'm just not going to tell you. And Ada sees this with her Senrigan. And essentially she's like, Kawaki, he's not going to blab. He's not going to tell anybody. He's not going to tell any of the higher ups, no matter the consequences. He's about to die. And he's still not giving you up. And Kawaki's just kind of like looking up into the sun. He's just kind of like sitting down like, man, my secret's about to be revealed. And I don't care. You know what I mean? And Hamura chimes in and he starts saying, yeah, we don't believe you. What are you talking about? What's this hullabaloo that you're speaking about, Sonny? And Boruto stands firm. He's like, I'm not going to tell you guys everything that you want to know. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to protect the village and provide you guys with the information that you guys want. To help you. To really help you guys. But essentially he's going like, I'm not telling you everything, but I'm not lying. I didn't kill Naruto, and I have a source that I can't tell you about. And essentially we kind of get everybody's thought process. We see Amado kind of like, and then we see Koharu go like, you idiot, you fool, you little punk. And then that's when Big Ibiki starts to walk over towards Boruto, and well, Ibiki's just basically like, we're gonna make you tell us by force. Where is the 7th Hokage? And who is this source you're talking about? Tell us, Boruto. And Boruto's kind of looking up at Ibiki, and he's just kind of like, bring it on. And now Shikamaru does mind transmission jutsu, or no, he doesn't do it, but he essentially gets linked to Ino, or she links to Shikamaru. And he's kind of like, how's your son? Is everything okay over there at the hospital? Easing his way into the conversation. Ino's like, he's fine. Thank goodness he's okay, And then Ino's kind of like, all right, we all know why you're calling me. We all know why you're linking up to me. It's something to do with Boruto, right? You want to use my mind transmission jutsu to speak to Boruto quietly behind the scenes, aren't you? And Shikamaru's like, yes, can you link us together again? And Ino's like, but you're breaking the rules, Shikamaru. I mean, come on. Ino, it's making me hard to like Ino. Oh, you know what I mean? This is the one thing that she could be useful for, but she's not doing it. So anyways, Ino's essentially being like, listen, Shikamaru, you're breaking the rules. You're kind of siding with the villain here, the bad guy who's a traitor to the village here. I'm not going to help you anymore. And Shikamaru's just like, please, I need you. This is a top tier mission that I need you for. And she's like, are you ordering me as Hokage? And Shikamaru's like, no, I would never order you as Hokage. I'm asking you as a friend. And then Ino is basically like, screw friendship. After everything we've been through, the trauma we've experienced, the thrill of battle, standing side by side, all of it means nothing to me except for my child. So no, you can't have my help, Shikamaru. It's over. It's up. And so, yeah, Shikamaru doesn't get any help from Ino. Yeah, that moment will not be forgotten, but can you really, you know what I mean? As much as I, you know what I mean, disdain her at this moment, I can't be too mad. She doesn't know what she's doing, you know what I mean? But it is what it is. So anyways, Shikamaru doesn't get doesn't have the capacity to talk to Boruto anymore through mind transmission. So now we get cut back to Ibiki interrogating Boruto. And you know what happens next? He's basically like, tell us where 7th Hokage is. Tell us right now. And if you're not going to, I'm going to force it out of you. And he's basically talking to Boruto. He's like, all right, you asked for this. And you know what he does? He grabs his head and then BAM! You know what I mean? Just a one solid slam to the desk. Hits Boruto right in the face. And he's just like, tell us. I do not care. I've been wanting to beat you up ever since you dared, ever since you were a traitor to this village, since day one, and I've thought about nothing else but 3 years. And Boruto's kind of looking at Ibiki. He's like, oh, that's really cool, Ibiki. I wish I had free time like you to worry about or to think about beating me up. And Ibiki's just like, what did you say? And he hits him with the 2-punch combo. Boom to the face. And then boom, gut punch. Just like right in there. You know what I mean? And Shikamaru's watching all of this. He's just like, what do I do? And so Ibiki gets his hits in. And he's like, hey, you took those punches like a champ. But we're not done yet. And Shikamaru tries to stop him. He's like, hey, that's enough, Ibiki. You know what I mean? He's not going to break just by punching him in the face. We need to go deeper than that. You know, but obviously he's trying to figure out a way to help Boruto. So anyways, I'm not saying this is right. I'm not saying that, like, you know what I mean, beating up Boruto will get them all of the answers that they seek. But I will say, can I just say this? I just want to say this, okay? I bet it probably felt really good to beat up Boruto. Like, in terms of, like, Hidden Leaf Village, you know, shinobi or, like, ninjas, he's the only one who really got to get some hits in. You know what I mean? So imagine, you know, obviously I know Boruto's not the traitor, but how good does that feel? You know what I mean? Like, that's got to be a pretty damn good feeling. It's like, this is the traitor who killed our beloved Hokage, somebody very near and dear to me. And then you get to slam their head, and then you get to hit him with a 3-hit combo, just a boom, 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 right? Just like that must have felt pretty damn good. And in this scenario, you know what I mean? They think that he's Kawaki, so Boruto's supposed to be like older, right? So it's like, so it's legal in their minds. You know what I mean? Like, obviously he's a child, he's just a teenager, but at the same time it's like he's supposed to be, you know, like 19 or 20 or something like that. However old, you know what I mean? So anyway, Shikamaru is kind of like, we need to go deeper than just fists. We have to use poison. We have to use some venom. Let's get Mitsuki over here and deliver some into his system. And Konohamaru is like, whoa, Shikamaru. He's like, let's stop right there. Mitsuki wants to kill Boruto. If we let him into the interrogation room, he might just go berserk on Boruto. And he's like, this is a bad idea. And Boruto's kind of like, oh snap. He kind of gets an idea of like what Shikamaru's kind of doing, or like what might happen. And Shikamaru's like, hey, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. I'll take the heat for it. Just get Mitsuki over here. And Ada's watching all of this. And she's essentially telling Kawaki, he's not going to give you up, Kawaki. You're safe. And Damon's like, that's so boring. Why would he do that? He's like, that's so stupid. And Kawaki's just like, Kawaki's like, damn, he's not gonna ruin my standing in Konoha. He's not gonna reveal the truth about me. So he's determined to stay in this life, to keep living this lie. He's like, wow, there's a little bit of respect there, a little brotherly, like, oh man, he's willing to take it all. You know what I mean? He's standing where I stood, and he's taking it. You know what I mean? There's some respect there, even though it's not like spoken outward, or like the mental process isn't there. Like, he kind of gets it. So now Mitsuki shows up after staring in the distance. He shows up, and Shikamaru's kind of like, all right, you got to go in there. He passes him a little note. He's like, listen, we're shinobi. We have to carry out our mission faithfully, and it's our duty to carry out our mission. So control your emotions and perform your duty, which is the title of this chapter. And Mitsuki's kind of like, you got it. Mitsuki walks up in there, cool as can be. Konohamaru looks at him. Boruto looks at him, and he's like, oh, what's up, Mitsuki? What, are you still looking for your stupid son, you idiot? And then Konohamaru's like, whoa, calm down. It's Boruto. We need information from him. Do not kill him. And that's when Boruto says, he's like, you're still looking for your son, you idiot? You're so stupid, Mitsuki. And then Mitsuki goes 0 to 100 real quick. It just turns on Sage Mode, and he goes like, I'm going to kill you, Boruto, and I'm going to do it right now. pins him against the wall, moves the table in like a split second, and Konohamaru and Ibiki kind of can just look at him. He's like, I'm going to kill you, Boruto. Is that all you have to say, you ungrateful traitor? And then Ibiki's like, no, get off of him, Mitsuki, get off of him. And then in that time, Mitsuki sends out a snake, and it goes to the handcuffs that Amado has locked to Boruto, and it breaks him out of there. And Boruto is kind of like, what is going on? He's free now. And then Mitsuki whispers in his ear, like, while he's choking him and strangling him, he's like, listen, he's like, got him right there by the throat, and he's like, listen, I love you, and they have all of your stuff over in the other side of the building, you know what I mean? They got your sword, they got your cape, they got basically everything that you came in here with, right over there. So, do your thing, do whatever you gotta do, and I'll see you later, okay, my son? Alright, take care. Nobody hears that. And so Konohamaru's like, damn it, what's going on? I told you this would happen, Shikamaru. And Boruto's now essentially free, and he's like, hey, what's up, guys? I'm not the enemy here, all right? I just want to be very clear about this. I'm not the enemy here. I'm not the bad guy, and I don't want to be the bad guy. I'm just going to give you as much information as I want to, as much as you need. And so he's kind of just like, I'm going to help you guys out, but I'm not a traitor, I'm not a villain, and I'll decide what information you get, all right? So, take care. And he does Flying Raijin, gets out of there. And now everybody's like, damn. And then Konohama's like, he got out of the handcuffs. He's like, those stupid handcuffs, and they start blaming Amado. They're like, those damn handcuffs. He said they were secure. And then Konohamaru's like, Mitsuki unlocked them? There's no way Mitsuki unlocked them. And he was like, the only people who really know the combination and code to get him out of those handcuffs are Amado, me, Ibiki, and Shikamaru. But why would Mitsuki break him out? How could Mitsuki break him out? And then Konohamaru kind of comes in. Shikamaru comes in and he's like, Mitsuki, things happen. And then we kind of get the flashback of Shikamaru handing Mitsuki the note, and he's kind of just like, this is the 4-digit code to unlock the seals. So that snake is super smart to pin the 4-digit code and then unlock Boruto, which is like, all right, whatever. So Shikamaru's like watching all of this, and he's like, everything's going according to plan. And then Boruto shows up with Flying Raijin to get his drip. You know what I mean? He's getting his sword back, getting his cape back, and the people who are guarding it, like, it's just one room. All they have to do is just like look over his stuff, and he shows up. He's like, "Hey guys, don't worry, don't feel bad about this." You know what I mean? It's just that, like, it's not your fault that this is happening. You know what I mean? So take care, keep doing your duty. You know what I mean? I'll be back. And they're like, "No, wait, stop!" But they can't. You know what I mean? They can't stop him. So essentially, now we're getting into the good stuff. Now we're getting into the next part of the chapter, which is basically setting up the future of Boruto. So now Mitsuki is basically going on his apology tour, going like, hey, my bad, Konohamaru sensei, like, damn, I just couldn't control myself there, you know what I mean? Whoo! Yeah, that was in the heat of the moment, you know what I mean? It's just like, I'm so sorry, Konohamaru. And Konohamaru's like, yeah, it's okay, kid, you know? You think I don't want to you think I don't want to get a couple of hits in against Boruto, you know what I mean? But it's okay, kid. And then Koharu and Hamura decide to chime in and go like, this was an absolute failure. We had him by the balls, and we could have killed him right then and there, Shikamaru. This is all your fault as Hokage. That was a bad idea, and this situation will not go unanswered. You will face severe consequences for this blunder, you fool. And Shikamaru's just like, hey, my bad, you know what I mean? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. I sincerely apologize. And Koharu's like, there's going to be consequences from the Shikamaru. You can't get away with stuff like that. And then we get a little flash forward to Shikamaru back in the Hokage's office. He's kind of looking over the village. Then we hear a voice in the distance, and it's like, move! Get out of the way! Just move! I just want to talk. I just want to talk to the Hokage. I just want to talk to Shikamaru. Sorry, my bad. And then Sarada's just like, what happened? What's going down? What's the word, Shikamaru? What happened to Boruto? And Shikamaru's just like, oh, yeah, about that. He kind of got away. He escaped. And Sarada's like, what? And then at the same time, he gets a mind transmission jutsu from the Sand Village, and none other from Kankuro. And now Shikamaru's just kind of like, all right, put him through. Let's see what he has to say. And Kankuro starts talking about, listen, Shikamaru, how can I put this? Gaara's kind of been beaten, got his ass beat, and then his adopted son Shinki has been bitten by a tree, a divine tree, by one of those claw grimes. And Shikamaru's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, Shinki got bitten by the claw grime and turned into a tree, and now they're both still alive. Gaara and Shinki are both still alive, but Shinki got turned into a tree, and now we're basically asking for your help. Can you please help us? We need Konoha's help. We need the Hidden Leaf Village's help. And then we get a nice scene, a nice panel of the new and awakened Shinju that we kind of got a glimpse of, or that we kind of anticipating was going to come up. And it's Shinki. It's Shinki turned into a Shinju. And the Shinju are kind of all there, and they're like, woo, hey, what's up? Welcome to the squad. Welcome to the team. How you feeling? And then they call him his new name, and they call him Ryu. And I'm just like, oh, snap. And so that's where the chapter ends. And I feel like that's a great way for the chapter to end. That's a great way for the chapter to kind of close out. And I mainly feel like that because the main reason I feel like that is primarily because there's so many different directions that the story could go in. Like, it could start off with a flashback of the hidden sand village, of the invasion, Gaara and Shinki's situation. It could be the Shinju. It could be Boruto and Kashin Koji. It could be Shikamaru and Sarada and Sumire. Like, there's so many different things that could go on that it's really interesting to see where chapter 15 picks up and what the next arc is going to be, because chapter 1 through 14 has been one arc, and it's basically been like, you know what I mean, one full day, like 24 hours that everything has gone down, essentially. So I'm really excited for the next chapter, and next time we're going to be talking more about individual characters and what's going on there. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all next time. Thank you.